I apologize. I'm on my phone today. The internet is screwing up over here, and so I can't use my laptop. But thank y'all for joining me. So that means I can't play my uh, beautiful theme song. Hey, what's going on, John? I see you on here. NTZ. Good morning, Smokey. Good to see you. Appreciate you coming on. We got a lot to talk about today. The subject is why I chose the Philippines over Thailand. It's going to be a little different. Hey, Love Beat Muse, what's going on? Thanks for joining us. Having never been to Thailand, what I'm doing is I'm not comparing the two. I'm just going to tell you what the Philippines is and isn't and why I decided to stay here. Hey, Momentum L, good morning. Hindsight is always 2020. But yeah, we'll have a little fun with that. Hey, Ingram Davis, LaVon White, thanks all to NTZ for keeping this a safe and decent live stream. I appreciate it. Hey, Bobby G, good to see you on here. Good morning. I went, because of the COVID situation is kind of getting crazy here again. And so I went ahead and went to immigration yesterday. All right. And while I was there, I was, normally when I go there, there's nobody there. But this time it's like 5 people in front of me, which still wasn't bad. So I was waiting. And then, I see a guy coming toward me, him and his wife, and they go ahead and sign in. Then he come back. I look up, they're standing right in front of me. And he's looking at me. He says, are you the guy who's got the YouTube channel? And I said, yeah. He said, I couldn't think of your name, but I know it's you. I said, Sunshine Shoulders. He said, yeah. I thought it was something Shoulders, right? So his name was Jerry, his wife's name Angel. So they sat down beside me. We started talking, and man, me and this guy had so much in common. It was scary. And he's a 71-year-old American. Of course, I'm a 58-year-old American. Now, you remember the world's approximately 197 million square miles. This guy lived less than 200 miles from me over in America, okay? That'll show you that some crazy things was going on. But listen to this. He arrived here in the Philippines December the 4th, 2018. I came here, I arrived December the 5th, 2018. It's so much that I had to write it down, okay? He built a house here, him and his wife, 560 square meters, man. Same size as mine. Mine's about 569 square meters. He's a Navy veteran. I'm a Navy veteran. He was divorced after a long marriage that produced 4 kids. Same as me. He had the BMW. Same as me. He also, after his divorce, he had a plan to travel the world. He was able to see a lot of places. He went to the Philippines last, whereas I went to the Philippines first. But it was still the same result. He decided to stay here after what he had saw. I liked it so much here that I decided not to go anywhere else. And the last thing is this. It says, see, I'm always telling myself how I can improve the pizza over here. You can ask my girlfriend. I'm always saying that. And I'll be damned if he doesn't own a pizzeria in Bago, B-A-G-O city, right outside Bacolod City, man. It just blew my man. But it was like, yeah, CS, he says, coincidence or not coincidence? Yeah. We had so much in common. And he really looked good for his age. He was 71. He's going back in September because he's got, I think he has to see his doctor or something. Yeah, Tom. I mean, it was really, this guy was a super nice guy. We had so much in common, man. And I just wanted to mention that to y'all before we get started. Hey, Jason, Jacob Tanjay, Sam Champion, I see you. Jason Flint. Hey, TJ Johnson. I must be here early, Calvin. Still, let's see. What he saying? Well, I've got this stupid phone today, guys. So, Peco Bernabe says, I'm headed to the Philippines in the morning. Wow. I know you're excited and nervous at the same time. TJ Johnson says, okay, Calvin still getting to these in real time. Yeah. Raj Rowland says, hey, Mr. Cooley. What, do you know me, man? That's what they call me at home. Cooley. I hate fooling with this phone, man. I tell you, it's crazy. But yeah, I met this guy yesterday, man, at the immigration. It was kind of crowded yesterday, but it was a bunch of Americans there too. It was another guy. Well, you know they were Americans. They were sitting up there talking to each other. I could hear them. I spoke to both of them before I left. But Jerry, me and him got into a good conversation. I got kind of some bad news, man. It was Antique, which is Antique, however you want to pronounce it, here in the Philippines. It's not too far from Boracay, real close to Iloilo City. They had 2 Delta cases, 2 Delta variant cases of the COVID. One died, one recovered. That's the reason why Iloilo is on ECQ. That's the strictest lockdown over in the Philippines. And I know they were talking about doing that sandbox with Boracay. This may prevent that because Duterte came on last night and they're going to reimpose stricter measures to try to get a hold on this Delta variant. There's been 35 cases so far in the country, 3 died. So that may stop that green tourism experiment that they're thinking about doing in Boracay. I hope it doesn't, but I'm pretty sure it is because that's on the way to Boracay. It's actually on the way to Auckland. Then you catch that, you actually catch the boat to Auckland. You go all the way to the end and then you catch the boat. Yes, it's real close. Hey, JH. So that may be some bad news. But yeah, a guy had asked me a while back, he said, Calvin, why did you choose the Philippines? He said, you could have went to Thailand. And now let's go back before when there was a choice. Because now there's no choice. I'm here now. I've been here 12 years. I'm not even thinking about Thailand, but hindsight's always 20/20. I'm not comparing the two because I've never been to Thailand before. But I'm going to tell you why I chose the Philippines, and then hindsight, having read so much now on Thailand, why I know it was the right choice that I made. First of all, the Philippines is still an untapped tourist destination, man. I mean, believe it or not, okay, 2019, when things were still normal, only 8.2 million people came here, international visitors. And this is a country of 110 million. I mean, you get swallowed up in there. That's why when guys ask me all the time, hey, you think when they reopen, we're going to be stumbling over foreigners? No. And there's some places still here in the Philippines where you can go, where you'll have the whole place to yourself. Go to Siquijor Island. Go to Bantayan Island, Camotes, those places. I'm talking about pre-pandemic. The only place that's a threat for over-tourism would be Boracay and maybe Palawan, even though they haven't had to shut down Palawan yet. And they only shut down Boracay because of a lot of the businesses were doing some unsavory stuff. It really wasn't over tourism. But when you look at that versus Thailand, you got to say to yourself, wow, Philippines is a better deal because Thailand has about 69 million people. In 2019, guys, 39 million people visited Thailand. And if it wasn't for this pandemic, they were looking at 41 million for uh, 2020, man. Imagine that. See, that's over tourism, guys, and that's why, you're not as welcomed in Thailand as you are in the Philippines. This is what I've been told by other people. Who's this? The Orchid King said, "Hey Calvin, what's going on? Tell us about the ID to check with these girls. Which ones are do most girls have that's legit?" What do you mean? Well, what are you talking about? What kind of ID? I know that they're coming up with a national ID now uh, that everybody's been encouraged to get, but I don't understand what you're talking about. Um, hey, Simply Acus, thanks for joining us. But yeah, the Philippines is still basically an untapped. After all of these years, very few people come here. It's one of the least visited places in all of Asia, and especially Southeast Asia. Imagine Thailand and Philippines, they're always being talked about in the same breath. 39 million versus 8 million. But the population of Thailand is 69 million. You know, that's a threat for over tourism. Okay, he says this. He says, Buffalo Dan said, I spent the year in Thailand pre-pandemic. He says it's a great place for a John. 100% you are more welcomed in the Philippines. Yeah. And see, that's another thing, Dan. I'm glad you brought that up because I got that on my list. The reputation that Thailand had. I know Philippines had a reputation too doing, when the bases were here and everything like that. But see, the bases have been gone like what? Let's see, 1992, somewhere around there. I came here in about 17 years before I got here. And I'm not a John, man. I'm maybe remember it's a thin line between a John and a Joe. But I'm not a John. See, I'm not coming here to pay for anything, even though I'm paying, intentionally paying. And I just didn't want to be around a lot of that red light district stuff. And that's the reason why, I chose the Philippines. And then, even though you're going to say, oh man, the Philippines has a reputation, I made sure not to go to Manila or anywhere near a place like that. So I came down to Cebu first, then in Mindanao first. But that was the reason, Buffalo Dan. I didn't want to be around all of that. And then again, remember, I'm a man, so I want to come somewhere where there's a lot of women. All right? There's 35 million women in Thailand. There's 55 million women here. Do you do the math? But it's a lot of reasons I chose the Philippines, man, and one of them is, it's not overrun with tourists. You don't even feel like a tourist here when you're in the Philippines because they have so few tourists that come here really that they still treat you just like a regular person. Now, if you go to those places, go to Vegas and all them places like that. Go to a real tourist place and you'll see what I'm talking about. When you come here, you don't even feel like you're a tourist. People aren't impersonal and all that, like they are in most of those tourist places. And that's another reason why I like the Philippines. T.J. Johnson says, I feel like Thailand is being equated to Bangkok and, what's he saying? You're right. And Pattaya. You could definitely live the same life you're living in fields in Thailand. Yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm saying why I chose. I'm not saying what Thailand is or isn't. I'm saying that when there was a choice, because there's no choice now, TJ, I chose the Philippines, and I'm glad I did. And now, hindsight, looking back, I'm seeing, you know, uh, so you're going to tell me that Bangkok and Pattaya has all of those 39 million tourists? Well, see, that's another reason for me not to go there. See, I mean, that's overrun. I mean, that's over tourism right there. That's the reason why I was reading on about the deaths. It's another reason I'm glad I came to the Philippines versus Thailand. They lead the world in expat suicides. Um, they have a higher murder rate, believe it or not, than the United States. From 2014 to 2016, 1,151 British citizens died in Thailand. Now, why I say British? Because about 1 million British people go to Thailand every year, and about 1 million Americans come to the Philippines every year. So I kind of, put them two together. And in those same 2 years, 60 of those murders are unsolved. And I don't care how you die, you're dead. I don't care if it's on a motorcycle, accident, you got murdered, you came up missing, you drowned, you're dead. And when I seen all those deaths, man, I was like, man, I'm glad I didn't go there. That's another reason. See, here's this guy. He's, wait. No, I'm sorry, Rick. I didn't mean to make you a moderator. It's a stupid phone, and I'll take you off of there. But Rick says, in Thailand, the province girls don't speak English, and they are Buddhist. Different culture. Philippines is so much better for the families that the Philippines. Let's see, what's he saying? But he's ahead of me right now, because I was going to say it's another reason. I married a lady from Surigao. Yeah. And that's another reason. See, I knew very little about either one of the places, but I did know that the Filipinos speak English, and that made it a whole lot easier for me. Sam Champion says, as a federal employee that still travels around the world, he said the Philippines beats them all. And remember, guys, this is just, hey, TJ Johnson said, I was just in Valencia, but Kid 9 might as well have been in Surin. Yeah, but see, TJ, you're getting the wrong thing. I'm not comparing the two. I'm telling you why, this is not an argument. We always want to argue. Come on, man, don't argue. I don't want that. I don't even want to debate. He asked me, why did you choose the Philippines over Thailand? And I told him, I said, well, in a time when there was a choice, because now there's no choice, because I've never been to Thailand before. I'm telling you why I chose the Philippines, and then I'm going to look back. But the numbers are what they are, TJ. There's 69 million people in Thailand. You got 39 million tourists. Who wants that? I don't want that. And it was even talking about getting more before pre-pandemic. That's a lot of people in there. And a lot of the popular places over tourism. Look at the visa situation. See, I'm just looking back and saying to myself, boy, I'm glad that I chose the Philippines over that. I've been here almost 3 years. Can you do that in Thailand? I don't think you can. Not on a tourist visa. See? So that's all I'm doing. I'm just answering his question. Rick 5414 says, Calvin, it's okay to meet a province girl in Manila. I go straight to the province. I'd meet in Manila first, man, because you don't know where you're going when you go to them provinces, man. You gotta stay in the city for a few days, get your feet wet, man, because You're talking about the real Philippines now. When you start going in provinces, you may not be able to take it right away. Um, so kind of get warmed up first, man. Yeah, guys, let's put the thumbs up. There's 276 people watching, 84. Y'all know that helps me. But yeah, it's not a debate, man, because I've never been to Thailand, so I can't tell you, I can't compare the two. I'm just saying that I'm so glad that uh, I was able to um, choose the Philippines. Now that I'm looking back, hindsight always being 2020, because I knew very little about either one of them. Hey, Malco, he says, thanks for the super chat. He says, hey, Calvin, I want to thank you for your advice. Wait, it's so stupid, phone. For your advice and interesting stories about the Philippines. I plan to go to college there since it's mad cheaper. Oh, man, now that's a whole nother video. Thank you, Malco, for that super chat. And yeah, it is a lot cheaper. And you could go to the top of the line college here in the Philippines for about $1,000 per semester. That's if you are able to, pass the entrance exam. Yeah, Mark's journey in the Philippines says one of the biggest reasons he chose the Philippines is because he's a Christian. And, in Thailand, it's like mostly Buddhists or no religion at all. Hey, thanks, Rick. He said you made the best choice by far. Your house looks great. Thank you. And that's all I'm saying, because the guy asked me that. Hey, Daniel Taylor, good to see you, man. But hindsight's always 2020, but the depths are the depths. When you die, you're dead. Now, especially these families in Britain, they still, one lady, I was reading an article, the article is 2018, her daughter was killed in 2000. She still hasn't gotten any answers over there. And it's really confusing, they're really frustrated over there. Hey, Gregory Calhoun, thanks, man. And that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that Thailand's not a good place, because obviously it is. You got 39 million people coming there. But hindsight being 2020, I'm so glad I came to the Philippines. It's still an untapped tourist haven. 8 million people only came here in a country of 111 million people. You can still, in 2021, go places in the Philippines and you can have the whole place to yourself. I'm talking about a lot of places. The only two places you're liable to go is Boracay and, Puerto Princesa, Palawan, or maybe a Coron, Palawan, where, you're going to see this over tourism. The beaches are going to be crowded. Everywhere else, go to Siquijor Island right now, pre-pandemic or not. Man, and you go to their city beach, their public beach, and it may be a sprinkling of people there. White Sand Beach, maybe, I'm going to say 10 people at the most, and most of them are vendors. Hey, Daniel Telly said, please shout out my family. Let's see, who's your family? Clydell, Alicia, and Terso. All right, brother. Red Hot, what's a good job to get in the Philippines if you're not old enough to retire? Well, the only job I've ever heard foreigners really do over here, if you don't own a business, would be call center. Now, TJ would be somebody to talk to about that, because he actually is working over here. Hey, Rod Rowland said you live in Lawrence because you got your health. Stay up, brother. Yeah, see, that's another thing that I want to talk about. What's going on, Eddie? Yeah, Big Gun 231 said, Big Gun 231 said, there are so many horror stories in Thailand besides getting killed. Uh, the fact that I won't be as welcome there as I am here will make me stay here. Now, you know, all things being equal, man, I want to come somewhere where I'm welcome. All right. If you got 39 million people running around, just as many people, it's gonna you're intruding on the locals in a way that's not happening over here. See, there's people in the Philippines still who've never met foreigners before. I was at the bus station yesterday going to Bacolod, and man, they were still amazed at me. These young women working at these little vendors and stuff. You know, they want to take pictures. They asking me questions because they never met, you know, in 2021. They still hadn't met a foreigner before. See, that's the kind of stuff I like. I'm not treated as a tourist here. I don't even feel like a tourist here when I'm here. And it's going to be the same way for you. When you get here, I promise you, you're not going to get that Las Vegas feeling. You know how you feel when you go to Las Vegas and them real tourist places where everybody's so impersonal and, you know, they treat you the same and all of that. Gabriel Demood said, real talk, man, I prefer to live in Philippines over Thailand. And it's really just a choice. It's just all a choice, guys. It's no argument. There's no debate. Jeremiah Coleman said, Calvin, is your house in your wife's name? Not the house, but the land. I'm not doing a land lease. I bought that land. Can you possibly do a cost breakdown of the project when you're finished, if you're comfortable? Absolutely, Jeremiah, and I'm going to do that. I'm sorry, Gabriel Demood. I didn't mean to time you out. It's this stupid phone. If I just touch it, guys, it's doing stuff. TJ Johnson said, I don't know. I'm not really, what's he saying? Trying to stand out, and I do even in a relatively large city like Davao. Yeah, I'm just saying that he asked me that, and I thought it was an interesting question. And I'm hoping that there's some people here who have lived both places that can put their input. Hey, thank you, Dion Ward, for that super sticker. See, I want to start the conversation. That's really all I'm doing, guys. And hey, Yusuf, Habib, good to see you. I want some people who have lived in both the places to help somebody who may be in that, you know, have that dilemma right now. Should I go to the Philippines? Should I go to Thailand? I came to the Philippines when all things was equal. And I'm glad I did now. I can look back on it. And I'm saying, I don't think I want to be stumbling all over foreigners, you know, because people think when you come to the Philippines, because, you know, a lot of people have never been here, man, in 2021, man, and they still not coming. I love it here because of that. The 8 million visitors they had was swallowed up by the 110 million, man. You know, unless I was in a small city like San Carlos City, even here, I have to go out of my way to see a foreigner here. You know, I got one who lives next door to me, but really I have to go out of my way. If I just go to M. Lawyer, McDonald's, man, I'm not going to see a foreigner, man. Yeah, Frank Ellis, the Brits love Thailand, I think for the same reason that the Americans love the Philippines. Don't they have some kind of, don't they have some, wasn't that a British colony or something before? Hey, Chriselle, nice to see you. I see Cal Dedman's on here. But yeah, when you got 69 million population and you got 39 million visitors every year, man. Hey, Bobby G, what's going on? He said, Calvin, moving to a new country is a lot to deal with from the from the very start. So if the people are welcoming, that for sure can make all the difference in the world. Absolutely. And see, I didn't even know that the Philippines was so welcoming the way it was. It was just okay, Jason Will. He said, no, Thailand's never been colonized. Yeah, because the British love it. The British love that place like Americans love, because about the same amount of people, um, same amount of Britons go to Thailand each year um, as the Americans come here. About 1 million every year. Hey, Doug Carr. And that's why I was kind of, always bring up the British over there. But a lot of them get killed over there. And it doesn't matter how you die, you're dead. There's no tomorrow. And see, those kind of numbers today scare me. Hey, Eddie Anderson, good to see you. Yeah, Chriselle says communication won't be as challenging, because Filipinos, a lot of them speak English. But when you get in those tricycles and those pedicabs, they don't. And a lot of times even in the taxis. But the women do. Red Hot said, you have Skype, Calvin? No, I've been using WhatsApp, Red Hot. What's up, Sal? What's going on, brother? Yeah, Gabriel, and I'm sorry, brother. I didn't mean to time you out. That just happened. He said, Calvin, the real deal is women in Philippines are better for long-term relationship and communication. I had both experience with Thai and Pinay. 100% Pinay, man. And see, I'm glad you said that, Gabriel. So it makes me feel better that, yeah, I did make the right decision because I was ignorant of both places. And so I did choose the right place. And that's all I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to say that it's better. Okay, Eddie Brain said, Calvin, I'm still waiting to move to, what's the name of this place? Let's see. This is so stupid, this fucking phone. Excuse me, my language, guys. Buffalo, Dan, now made you a damn moderator. Okay, Talon, is that what you're saying? Talon? He said he's stuck now in Ocala, Florida. Well, that's not a bad place to be. Doug Carr is now a moderator. Let me get rid of you, Doug. Tim Gun Lover says, who said that the food is better in Thailand? And yeah, it's true from what I hear. But see, I can deal with the food because I can cook my own food. But yeah, you're right. Hey, thanks, Big Gun 231. He said for that super chat. He said, I want to buy 100 square meter land in Cebu, but how can you find a good deal without getting scammed or paying a foreigner price? Well, what you're going to have to do is you got to put the woman out front. You don't want to come over here because first you can't buy land over here anyway under normal conditions. Okay? Under normal conditions. Now, as a corporation or something like that, you can lease land, you can own land through inheritance if you're married to the Filipina and your marriage is registered over here, and she dies, then yeah, you're next in line as a husband to own that land. TJ says the Philippines doesn't even register in the top 10 as far as food goes. But see, I didn't come here for the food. I promise you, man. See, I'm not going to lie to myself. I came here for the women, and there's 20 million more women here in the Philippines than it is in Thailand. And the Thailand, there's 39 million tourists fighting for that 35 million women. There's 8 million tourists over here fighting for 55 million. I think I like my choices over here. See, I'm not one of them guys Doug Carr, what he said about me. What's your name? I had accidentally punched you as a moderator, Doug. Scott said that TJ Johnson type 5 or what? Food, but people don't come here for the food. You know, that's not why they come here. Yeah, Thailand has great infrastructure now that, I'm looking back on it. You can get around quicker. That's what I was reading too. Remember, guys, I'm not comparing the two, but we're getting into that. The question was, Calvin, why did you choose Philippines over Thailand? Because I was ignorant of both of them. See? But I said, well, let me go to the Philippines first. And there's a few things that I knew about the Philippines. I knew that they spoke English here, but that's about it. But now, hindsight being 2020, when I look back, and now all the stuff I'm reading about Thailand, I'm saying, man, I'm glad I came to the Philippines instead. Yeah, Efren Dunlap, I'm not coming 8,000 miles for food, you know. And yeah, Eddie Bryant, yeah, the odds are better for me over here with the women. You know, the odds are better. It's a whole lot better. I don't want to be stumbling over you guys, man. And it was just that the reputation. See, a lot of the reputation that the Philippines has, it's not true. It's because it's made up by people who've never been here. When you look at these numbers on Thailand and the deaths, no one ever asked the question, is it dangerous in Thailand? They take for granted that it's safe in Thailand. But over here in the Philippines, when you flip that over, and there's more people here, by the way, 110 million people in the Philippines versus 69, and you say, well, hell, you think that the Philippines is so dangerous. That's myth, man. That's people making up this stuff. They've never been here. I'm boots on the ground. Terry Peake said her husband didn't care for the Philippines because of the traffic and the heat, I think. And the guy asked me, who's down in the Philippines? Well, I'm saying Britons. And the reason I bring up British, because about the same number of them go to Thailand every year as Americans come here to the Philippines, about 1 million. And in between 2014 and 2016, 1,151 Brits died over there in Thailand. Man, imagine if 1,151 Americans died over here in a 3-year period. 2014, 15, and 16. Man, the United States would declare war on the Philippines. See what I'm saying? But I didn't know all of this going in. I didn't know anything about either one. That's just the British dying over there. Go online and read about the suicide rate over there. Are the police just labeling these deaths suicides? They've got the highest expat suicide rate in the world. Where's that come from? I didn't make that up. It's just, that's just as simple as it is. But looking back on it now, when it comes, like a guy just said, the Philippines wins visa, hands down. I didn't know that though when I chose the Philippines, but now I'm glad I did. I can stay here. Even in 2009 when I first came, I could stay here 18 months. See? And then, now it's 3 years on a tourist visa? That's unbelievable. Raj Rowland said, why go somewhere for food? That's right. But, Ted B says the dowry system in Thailand is a huge turnoff personally for him. Filipino women are nicer, more beautiful, and better personalities too. Philippines in my book. And, see, I'm glad that guys say stuff like that. Now that, I'm here already, that I made my choice, because it could have been opposite. What if I'd have chosen Thailand first? See? I'm glad I chose the Philippines. Hey, Zachary McCloy, he said, I just wanted to say I watch your channel from time to time because I know you are clearly honest about the subject you speak of. Hey, thanks, Zachary, man. I really appreciate it. And I mean that, man. And that's why I like to talk about real stuff because, you know, when, as men, it's either, if you come to Southeast Asia, it's either the Philippines or Thailand, man. You know, I don't ever say, I'm going to go to, you know, but now they say that Cambodia is getting up there. Hey, Rag Jam Rock. Yeah, there's a few Thai restaurants here, as a matter of fact, and a lot of the tea that they like. Chriselle says if you're looking for good food in the Philippines, you're only gonna get mediocre if you go out to the restaurants. She said go to the province and eat a family meal. And that's true. It all boils down to who's cooking your food, guys. I've been lucky, man. The last two Filipinos I've had that I've dealt with, they're great cooks. She's a great cook, and my wife is a great cook. But you can run into some deadheads over here that can't boil an egg. You know, they can't cook rice, to be honest with you. But you know, so it really doesn't matter where you go. If your woman can't cook, she can't cook. At least they're gonna be beautiful over here. At least they got the Filipino tune up with free oil change and lube job. And they can understand, you can understand them and they can understand you. He said he heard Vietnam is opening up. Yeah, Wong Hung Lo, he said after watching a guy drive a motorcycle there, I wouldn't drive anything here. And that's what I do. I don't drive anything. Doug Carr says, at Sunshine Shoulders, I may have missed it. How's Ricky and his family doing? They're doing great. Now, the next door neighbor came over yesterday and said they were arguing over there. I'm like, well, I'm not going over there. I'm not getting into any domestic thing. Said Rick was breaking dishes and stuff. Now, I kick his ass for breaking dishes he didn't buy, but I don't get into that domestic stuff. But yeah, they're doing great. Rick is officially a pedicab driver now. We've gotten his license. We're just waiting on it now. We paid all the fees. He's got all the paperwork out. Hey, Seth Travel Vlogs, thanks for stopping by. The Orchid King said, that's a good one, Calvin, about the tune-up. No, it's true. Rick needs to chill. I don't know what it is, you know, Misuda Sufanto. I don't know. Yeah, Rick needs to chill. He does. Hey, John Gomez, good to see you. Eddie Anderson Jr. says, I have a question, Calvin. Have you ever tried balut? No. John bought something over here, and man, I tell you what, I couldn't get past the smell. I couldn't do it. And so I left it alone. What's up, Luis Martinez? I'm glad to see you on here. I've got it's crazy, man. So it's a holiday here today. I don't know what holiday it is, but I went riding. And hey, David Clues, good to see you. Okay, I'm sorry, Checo. I made you a moderator. Stupid phone. He says, I have to agree with you. Disagree. We can disagree. He says, shit. Right, that's what I said. Not all of them are great cooks. That's what it boils down to, though. He says, Checo Kiko said, I have to disagree with you on the cooking thing. The novelty of Philippines tune-up eventually goes away. I need sustenance. If my girlfriend or my wife have stopped, wait. He says, if my girlfriend or my wife can't cook, time to look elsewhere. Well, I didn't really say that. What I'm saying is, no matter where you go, Chico Kiko, it's who's cooking the food to determine whether or not you're going to have a good food experience. I've been lucky, but guys don't come over here for food. And a lot of times, whether the lady can cook or not, see, that's your choice. You want a woman that can cook. A lot of men don't want that. They don't care really. They can cook themselves, you know, but they don't want to tune up themselves. Hey, main time, he said, Calvin checking in from Vegas. The house looks nice. Thank you. Hey, and as a matter of fact, I'm glad you brought that up. Uh, the Sunshine Shoulders meet and greet. That's just what I call it. I don't know what those guys call it. Maybe the guys' night out. Um, it's going to be from August 13th to August 15th in Las Vegas. Everybody's welcome. So far, 6 people are locked in. It's going to be at the New York, because these are heavy hitters, guys. They're not going to play around. Hey, guys, let's hit the thumbs up. Y'all know that helps me. 336 people watching, 170. But yeah, a lot of guys, I'm going to tell you something. The Philippines, their draw is not their food. Even though if you ever come here, I promise you, and you meet me, and I take you to the Ma'awani Hotel, you're going to change your mind about the food in the Philippines. Whoever's cooking that food over there, man, is a great chef. They're a great cook. But then I can take you to somewhere else here. I'm not going to name the places. I don't want to get in trouble. And you'll be like, man, the food in the Philippines is terrible. It depends on who it is. See? But that's not the reason you come 8,000 miles. Not, I didn't. I'm just being honest to myself. See? I came over here because there's 55 million women over here versus 35 million in Thailand. And then you got 39 million Johns running around in Thailand fighting for those 35 million. You got 8 million over here fighting for the 55 million. I take the Philippines every day. Oh, man. Chriselle says, we'll visit your family soon. Okay, come on. We're going to take you out. You don't have to worry about anything when you get here, Chriselle. And that's a fact. Misu Tasufanto said, what's the meeting in Vegas about? It's just some of my subscribers, the NTZ crew, they just coming together just to meet each other in person, have a good time, have some drinks, gamble away a few dollars, you know, and just have a good time in Vegas. Yeah, he's right. He says, the Orchid King said, Calvin, no, that's not. This is stupid. And no, whoever asked me that question, I haven't rode in John's car yet. My girlfriend said he didn't want to get pulled over by the police here. So that's why I haven't gotten in his car yet. Oh, okay, here's who's saying it. Land says, to me, it seems like the Philippines speaks a lot better English. So it's easy to find girls to connect with. Yeah, see, that's another reason why I'm glad I chose the Philippines instead of Thailand. I'm not stumbling over Johns and foreigners everywhere I go. I can go to a place and have the place to myself. I don't know why. I guess the reputation, Land. He said, why do more foreigners go to Thailand than the Philippines? They're right over here together, really. I mean, you got to fly just as far from the United States to get to Thailand as you do to the Philippines. So I don't know. Scott says he likes the look of the Thailand woman better than the Philippines, but the English goes a long way. Paul M says, are those concrete blocks solid enough that they're using on my house. Yeah, they better be. But remember, all the houses that you see on my videos, whenever I'm walking around in the background, they're all built the same way over here. See, they've got a good, um, you know, building plan over here. Let me see what our chair says. He's always got good questions. Okay, he says, if you became a millionaire tomorrow, Calvin, where would you live? Would you stay there part time and live half year elsewhere? That's a great question. I would, because I'm gonna tell you something, and I'm gonna tell you something else. Me and Jerry had in common. He said the older he gets, the harder it is for him to make that flight over here. It's the same way with me. So I would stay here, okay, because there's so much of the Philippines I haven't seen. But depending on how many millions I had, I'd buy me a condominium in downtown Chicago. I'd stay there for the summer months. I'd stay there June, July, August. Come back here somewhere in September. Down there by the Magnificent Mile, down by the Lakeshore Drive and all that. See, I love that area, man. I mean, so yeah, I cherish. If I was a millionaire, depending on how many millions I had, I stayed there because that area down there, it rivals anything I've seen. I've been around the world. It just has this feel to it, you know, uh, and then everything's top of the line down there. And because that's why, whenever I want to feel like a baller for a weekend, I just rent me a hotel or Airbnb down there and stay, go over to the beach, walk up and down Magnificent Mile, because that's the only place I go in Chicago. And then I spend the rest of the time here. Yeah, so yeah, that's a good question. Hey, Levon White says, I don't care if my lady can cook. I've been cooking all my life and enjoyed it. Having a chance of happiness is more important to me. Thank you, Levon, for that super chat. You read my mind because I was getting ready to say this. Give me happiness over love any day, guys. Listen, why do we put so much emphasis on love, on women loving us? If you're happy, the important thing is you love yourself. I don't care how much she loves you. If you don't love yourself, what good is that going to do? See, happiness, it includes everything. It includes all. Give me happiness over love any day. If she's making me happy and I'm happy within myself, I don't care if she loves me or not, because I'm going to treat myself good anyway. Frank Ellis said, Cal, I had an Air Force buddy who married a Filipino and they moved to Thailand. But see, he's got the best of both worlds then. What's the dollar? See, I can't check it right now because I'm using my cell phone. But is anybody, John, check the dollar for us. What's the rate? Johnny, New York says, Sunshine Show, it's not looking too good in Southeast Asia right now. You're right. The president of the country here came on TV, said they may have to revert back to the restrict conditions to get a hold on this Delta variant, man. They're afraid of it. Okay, Doug Koff, 5038. Ingram Davis says 5078. Oh, okay. J.A. says 50.7. Okay, yeah, see, that's a lot. It's going up, man. But yes, it's not looking too good, man. That Antique, that's in between Ilo, and Boracay, they had 2 cases, man. One died, one recovered, and then it's on the way to Boracay, man. So this sandbox experiment they were trying with Boracay, it may not come through now because of that. What's up, Vince Lawson, nephew? He said Uncle Cal already made the weed run up here with my nephew and his soon-to-be wife, Treasure, and friend. watching your channel from Chi-Town. Man, I love Chicago, man, but that's the only part I go to, the Magnificent Mile. I don't go nowhere else. Wow, Red Jam Rock says 50.78. See, yeah, it's going up. Just last month in June, it was 47.75. And that's because America has opened back up, guys. It's going to get back to when I came over in 2018. When I got off the plane, it was 53.84. That's the highest I've ever seen it in my whole 12 years. Hey, Tim Gun Lover. Let's see. He says, Alexander Neverman. That's Prince's ex name. He said, hey, Calvin, is your Cash App still good? Yeah, it is. Thank you, Alexander Neverman. And the reason I knew that, because I'm reading the book, the Sheila E. autobiography, and I'm in the part now where her and Prince are fooling around now, and her album, The Glamorous Life, has just been released. I guess it's like 85, I guess. Something like that. Yeah, I love beat music. He says it's not looking good in America, too. He said a lot of our Olympians are contracting COVID. I think we're going to have to take a page out of Thailand's book. They said we just got to learn to live with it. To be honest with you guys, that's really what the world's going to have to do eventually. We're going to have to protect the most vulnerable people, against the COVID and the different variants, and then let everybody else just, live their life, man. That's just what I'm saying. I'm not a scientist or anything. But we got to learn to live with it, man, because if not, the Philippines will never reopen, because, remember, Filipinos are very conservative. And unless they get it down to just an unthinkable, and it's not just Filipinos, but Asians are very conservative. Until they get it down to just an unrealistic level, they're not going to open up. John Wells said, JH 4,000 per month, man. Yeah, you can live very well over here with that, man. Snake Bit says, do the best you can to keep the immune system up. And that's what I do. I take vitamin C, I take vitamin D, get out in the sun, I work out. Of course, over here, you're going to get plenty chicken soup, man. I had chicken soup last night. Homemade chicken soup, man. It's delicious, because she can cook. It don't matter if I was in Louisville, Kentucky. If that chicken soup she cooked last night is delicious. And that's what it really comes down to, guys, when it comes to food. But I didn't come over here for food. I'm not lying to myself after 12 years. I wanted to tune up, and I'm getting it, and that's why I'm here. But another thing about Thailand that scared me is all the deaths over there. All the unexplained deaths. Nobody can explain that. That's why they're unexplained. See? And I don't care how you die, you're dead. There's no getting up the next morning. See? Hey, Clint Dow, he says, I'll send omega-3s to a girl there. Yeah, we bought some omega-3 fish oil vitamin supplements. Yeah, Land, I'm just not going to lie to myself anymore about why I came here, man, because people know why you come here, and there's nothing wrong with you. Believe it or not, they know what they want, and that's why the Filipino usually ends up winning, because she knows exactly what she wants. She's not going to deviate from that no matter what anybody says. But we come over here, we're stumbling over our words, stumbling over the reasons why we're here, and we end up losing, man. We come over here with a royal flush, and she beats us with a pair of deuces and jack high. And that's the reason why, man. So now I'm winning. I'm beating them upside the head with my royal flush, But yeah, them deaths over there scare me. Yeah, that's right, Jason Will. That's another thing I was going to get into. He said traffic deaths are higher in Thailand than in the Philippines. And remember, there's more people here in the Philippines than Thailand. You know, about, let's see, almost 50% more. Yeah. And when you dead, man. There's no coming back from that. You know. Hey, Soy said, keep safe, Cal. I'm a Filipino, and I wanted to go to Thailand. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, going to Thailand. I'm glad I chose the Philippines when I didn't know any better. See, I know better now. There's no way I would go to Thailand under any circumstances. I don't care how good their infrastructure is. I don't care how good their food is. I'm going to take the 20 million women over here, 20 million extra women over here who speak English, who have the tune up, who know how to cook. And I can still go places here in the Philippines and have the whole island to myself, or maybe share it with a handful of people. The Philippines is still an untouched tourist haven in 2021. Very few people come here. I don't know why. And it's shocking to me because, when I was looking at the numbers for the Philippines, it's going up every year. When I came here, listen to this, guys, and go back in 2009 and look, Thailand was still close to 30 million visitors in 2009. Guess how many were coming to the Philippines in 2009? 2.3 million people, visitors. And it's like, why? They're just getting hip to the Philippines. Man, this is an unbelievable place. Um, I don't know why people don't come here for real. You know, yeah. I don't understand why people don't come here. Gabriel, the mood says 100% good deal. Real talk, man. Island, tuna, English, less tourists, and more peanuts. Yeah. And I'm glad I chose the Philippines versus Thailand because I'm treated like a celebrity here, man. I promise you I am, man. When I went to the bus station, yeah, look at me. I'm a 58-year-old American, you know, hell, with a bald head, you know, uh, and these young women they did everything but practically ask me for my autograph yesterday, man. I felt so good about that, man. And it was a sincere attraction. There was nothing I could give them. They were at work. That's the kind of stuff I like about the Philippines. I'm really welcomed here. You know, I'm not treated like a tourist here. There's so little tourists that come here, they don't know how to treat you like a tourist. So they just treat you like everybody else. And that's the big deal over here about the Philippines, man. That's another big thing it has. Yeah, Clayton Murray, chicken soup for the soul. I've got that chicken soup for the military wife's soul. Scott says, Calvin, what were you doing yesterday when the girls were all over you? I was waiting on my bus. Okay, I got there at 8:15. The bus left at 8:40. So I went in there to buy me, I bought one of them disposable, you put hot water in the noodles, and I bought me a water. And man, I was like, I mean, it was flattering, man. And this is what I'm trying to tell you about when you get over here. It's different than being online. You're not going to see these girls online. These young girls, I guess they was anywhere from like 19 to maybe 22. Most of them live in the province. They come here to work at the bus station. They don't make a whole lot of money. And they're just intrigued by meeting a foreigner. They throw on the Filipino charm, And it's humbling, man. It's like, wow, because they know I couldn't give them nothing. And, I told them about my channel. And, I said, hey, if y'all want to be, if you subscribe every Wednesday and Friday, I have a spin wheel for my Filipino subscribers to help them during the pandemic. And I just blew them away. But, yeah, you don't have to do anything, Scott. That's what you got to do. You just say hi to them, and they're going to fall down over themselves. Paul M says, is St. Carlos City a developing area? Is it pro-business or pro-tourist? Uh, it's pro-family, really. This is like a great place for retirees. This isn't St. Carlos City and Dumaguete are about the same size in people. St. Carlos actually has 132,000 people. Dumaguete has 131. Where Dumaguete is more set up and geared toward tourists, St. Carlos City is more geared up like for retirement. It's really slow here. You're not going. There's no life at all here really, but these little local bars that you can go to, and that's the attraction for me at my age. See, but yeah, it's more along that line. Nicholas Cherry said, "I'm invest in a nice tent and take it on the beach. That would be great, and that's what Filipinos do a lot right now." Yeah, Scott. But most of my videos now is I'm going around San Carlos when I'm doing my vlogs. Yusuf Amar Habib says, "Calvin, do you miss the U.S. at all?" Absolutely not. And I promise you, man, if I didn't have to leave this place, I would never go back to America, only to visit my my daughters. I've got 4 daughters there, and I've got 9 grandchildren there. That's the only reason I would ever go back. I don't miss it, and it's not because I don't love America. I just don't love that lifestyle anymore, that way of life. See, I can't make it over there on $1,500, $2,000 a month. You know, remember when I say, everybody wants a better life, but somehow we always want to penalize Filipinos for wanting a better life. I wanted a better life, man. I can live a better life here with just being the same person I am with the same amount of money. I can live a better life. That's what I wanted. If I go home right today, even with my YouTube channel, man, I've got to go back to work, man. Who wants to go back and punch a clock like that? Hey, Archie, yeah, my house is coming along well. I'm gonna do a vlog today on the progress. But yeah, Yusuf, I don't miss it at all. I don't miss the stress. I don't miss the competition of, my neighbor gets a new Cadillac, so I got to get a new one. He's got the newest, whatever it is over there. Because over here, people are more concerned about getting something, the real problems of life. Not what we worry about over there. My daughter, man, I tell you again, she asked me the other day, I gave it to her. She asked me for $140 to buy a cake for her party. And I'm like, a cake? $140? Yeah, I miss my kids and grandkids, Tom. And that's why, I go there like once every 3 years to visit. But what good is it to them, Tom, if I'm dead? See, that's what y'all don't understand. Had I not came here December the 5th, 2018, man, there would not be no Sunshine Shoulders. It would be the, I would be dead. See? And this is what I'm trying to tell you, and that's what I tell my kids all the time. I said, at least you can see me, talk to me. We do the messenger thing and all of that. But I come home, but no, not the statement. It's too much. I'm going to tell you something, man. I got tired of the hate and all that over there. You understand what I'm saying? It's not even worth it. Yeah, Frank Ellis. Yeah. WTF, $140 cake. That's what I got away from. And I've got 4 daughters, man. They like to kill me over there. Growing up especially, okay, if it's one of their birthdays, I couldn't come home and we couldn't have a birthday party for just the one. I had to buy four gifts, you know. It had to be everybody's birthday every single time it was a birthday. And, you know, to be honest, I just I don't miss it at all. Believe it or not, I don't miss it. And I tell people all the time, if I were a business, which I am my own business, we all are our own business, and you decided to move your business out of the country to a place where the labor is cheaper, the operating costs are cheaper, and the profits are higher, they call you a genius. But when I do it, oh, what you do? You're a loser. You can't compete in your own country. No, I'm a winner, guys. I'm sorry. Okay? Hey, thanks, Chriselle. Take care. Yeah, but if you're a business, oh, look, he's got a great business plan, great businessman. But when a human being does it, oh, he's a loser. He can't get a woman at home. As if the American woman is the standard for some reason. You got to realize American women are only 2% of the Earth's population, guys. Don't limit yourself to 2% of the women. No wonder why you're frustrated. You run around, you can't find the right woman. You keep bumping into each other. You're marrying somebody else's ex-wife. Look at Derek Fisher. See, that kind of stuff, man, you get tired of that. Oh, I did. You know, he's marrying somebody else's ex-wife and all of that. Man, you get tired of that. Just going around in circles. Oh, the car you're driving, somebody else's car. I wanted something new. I wanted a new life. I just didn't want a new address. Yeah, Levon White, great point. He says, wait, Levon, I gotta jump you off. You're actually a moderator. You make a great point. He says, Calvin, not only are you on an ever-turning hamster wheel, if you stop running on the wheel, your body will be tossed around. So much of the U.S. is like a third world country. Man, it's not that I'm anti-American or anti-U.S., but the world, the earth, not the world, it's approximately 197 million square miles. Who says you have to live your entire life where you were born and raised? Why not get out here and see something else? The woman you're looking for may be out there somewhere. The job, the business, the opportunity you're looking for may be somewhere off of that grain of sand that you've been living your whole life on. Get out there and see what you can do. See what you can accomplish somewhere else. I'm tired of marrying somebody else's woman, man. I want my own woman. And what I don't know won't hurt me. See? But, you know, Derek Fisher fought his wife's ex-husband. He knows who her ex-husband was. See, I don't like all that. I'm funny like that. Hey, don't make me roll after of it. Thank you, brother, for that super chat. He said, when you're fishing with the same bait and tackle and keep catching the same type of fish, you need to change ponds. Absolutely. And that's where I am. But the minute you decide to do it, I made a video on it a long time ago. They come after you, man. It's most of your family and your friends. Oh, what are you doing moving over there? They don't want you over there. And then the haters come after me. Oh, you a loser. Why am I a loser? You know, because I decided I wanted something new. And then, you know, because what little we know of death, guys, this is what Shakespeare said. Life should be a paradise. Okay? Me and Jerry was talking about this yesterday. He said, I'd rather have a 30-year-old wife than a 30-year mortgage. And I said, man, how profound is that? That's the shift in thinking that we have now. See, that old American dream, man, that's a nightmare now. Who wants a 30-year mortgage, man? Nobody wants a 30-year mortgage. Who wants to, be on that hamster wheel for 40 years? It's even more now. I want a new way to live. Yeah, Lance said I came for the tune-up. You know, why live in a place where women take me for granted when I can come somewhere else and they put me on a pedestal? No matter why they put me on the pedestal, they put me up there. I don't care if they love me or not. What's love got to do with it? I don't care nothing about love. I love myself. Let me be happy. All right? Alexander Neverman said they jealous because they can't do it. Yeah. Yeah, Paul M says, amen, brother. Yeah, man, give me happiness. Give me this new freedom I've got, this new happiness I've got over here. I can always get on the plane and go home. The minute I get home, they're going to, oh, yeah, roll out the carpet for me for a week. After that week, it's back to my phone's going to go dead. My doorbell's going to stop ringing. I'm going to stop getting invited to places. Yeah. Eddie Anderson says, have I been vaccinated? Not yet. They haven't opened it up for everybody here yet. But as soon as they do, you can hit me here. I promise you. Yeah, Doug Carr, he says, I want to live in a place where at least where the women would say hi to me. Yeah, that's right. True King Gaming says, 42-year-old retired veteran. I said, I get a great tune-ups here in America. He said, but, see, that's the but, though, see. The companionship and traditional woman values is why I'm dating a Filipina now. Absolutely. It's not always about sex, but yet it is about sex. I don't want to beg. See, I haven't begged in 12 years now. See, it's going to come a time in America, in these Western countries, where you're going to have to beg. Because, if you think the Philippines is religious, no, America's more religious, really. And, Jesus is watching. I ain't going to do that because Jesus is watching. But you're doing everything else, and he's watching. But I ain't going to do that because Jesus is watching. Yeah, John. Oh, resume. He says it's really safe in Zamboanga. It is for me. It is for me. And it's going to be for you, too, to be honest with you, man. You got to, as long as you're not out late at night, am I buffering now, Frank? As long as you just be humble, respect the people, respect the culture, they're not going to bother you. Now, one thing that my mother-in-law told me was, don't stay in the hotels there because you got to realize that there's a rebel tax that those businesses pay in Zamboanga. This is true. It's not me saying this. And if they don't pay it, it happens a lot. But Zamboanga's nice, man. It's just the land use is kind of messed up right now because they've got this big old KCC mall right right by the street, right in the city proper, man. It just caused just a terrible traffic jam. And now they built a big SM mall not far from there. So the traffic is so bad. But yeah, is it safe? Yeah. Yeah, the wrench means moderators. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, all in all, Zamboanga is safe, and you're not gonna have any problems there. Remember, these people are Filipinos first, and it's only a small percentage. Doug Carr. Hey, Ted B, enjoy your life, Cal, and the hell with the haters. Yeah. Thanks you, Ted. Uh, but that's really what it's all about, guys. That's what my channel, I'm trying to let you guys see. There's more options. If you're not happy there, it may not be in the Philippines, but it could be somewhere else. You know, explore your options, man. Don't just stay there and die of a heart attack. Uh, yeah, MJB and the P2B. Go where you're celebrated and not hated or tolerated. Yeah, go where you're treated best. Nomad capitalists, absolutely. And that's what it is really with me. Um, and my buffering, guys, has got very bad connection. Today's a holiday over here, but I don't know what holiday it is. Okay, Eddie, he says, I'm considering, Eddie Anderson said, I'm considering moving there. What do you suggest would be a nice place? My wife's family lives in the Pagadian City or Cebu area. I'd go to Cebu, Pagadian, man. You know, if you ask me, as Zamboanga say, you know, hey, Sam Llewellyn, thank you, brother. From California. Yeah, it's got a bad, yeah, man. You know, Paul M was right. He said, go where you're treated best, man. You know, wherever that is. Some people are treated best in America. Hey, Rod's rolling. He said, get your life, Mr. Cooley. Do the damn thing. I am, man. That's what I'm doing. I just like to let guys know that you have other options. And people used to always ask me, man, is that really a nice place over there? Can you really have a new life over there? And unequivocally, yes. Uh, I'm glad I chose the Philippines versus Thailand versus Brazil versus Colombia. Are those great places? Absolutely. But for some reason, I was able to get some traction here, man. And it's not just me. I mean, I was talking to Jerry yesterday. He's a 71, man. This guy looks at least 10, 15 years younger than his age. I didn't believe he was 71. And he attributes it to moving here and the lifestyle he's living here. The woman in his life. He's not begging. He's not down on bending knees anymore. The day's going to come. I don't care how nice looking she is in America, how, you know, freaky she is. The day's going to come. Number one, there's going to be a confrontation. Number two, you're going to beg. You're going to have to beg. Okay? So, over here, there's no confrontation. There's no begging. You know, I'll take that. Tough Cookie says, I'm getting a lot of messages from Filipinos, you know, desperate for money. Yeah, you got to throw them back. Leave them alone because Filipinos aren't going to ask you for money. There's already an unspoken agreement over here, guys. Why don't y'all listen to me on that? It's true. You know, guys always bragging, oh, she don't never ask me for money. She's never going to ask you for money. I saw one vlogger, he's bragging, talking about how I don't have to leave with my wallet. I get, you know, I'm not bad to look at and this and that. And I thought to myself, but you pay for everything over here. Your woman don't have no money over here. So what are you talking about? It is an unspoken agreement. You're no different than nobody else. You know, I mean, I don't care, you know, some guys like John's, they just come right out and pay for it. But You're gonna pay for it, guys. It don't matter. Don't fool yourself. You're just fooling yourself. He said he don't have to. He don't attract women with his wallet. Well, hell, your woman don't work. You paying for every damn thing, but you're gonna do that anyway. Yeah, Raj Rollins at Calvin. He said Philippines is a spot. You're close enough to go anywhere. Even if I wanted to go Thailand, yeah. See, I'm just glad. All things being equal, I was ignorant of both of these places. Um, I'm just glad I chose the Philippines. He says if the Philippines opens, Archie says, Archipelago says if the Philippines opens by the year 2041, the Filipinos we date then haven't been married yet, haven't been born yet. I don't really deal with the real young ones, even though, like I said yesterday, there was about between 19 and 22, something like that. Man, listen, uh, she's listening, but you talking about uh, just something you've never experienced before when you get over here. So I don't care how tough you are. You can, as long as you sit behind that screen, you can say, oh, I ain't going to do this. I'm not going to do that when I get over there. You get over here. You got a little 19, 20, 21 year old that's going to melt in your hand. You know, melt in your mouth, not in your hands, whatever way you want to look at it. Then you talk to me. Then you tell me what you're not going to do and what you're going to do. See, because I inadvertently had one before. I thought she was 22. She was 18. She was lying the whole time. Her friend told me, said, no, her birthday's today because I bought the lechon. I laid everything out. No, we're the same age. We're 19. And I ended it really there. But for 6 months, man, you talking about I had a hell of a ride. You know, uh, hey, Pokey Bear, good to see you. Eugene Thomas says, how long is the flight from Philippines to Thailand? About 4 hours. That's it. Wow. Alan Gregory says Delta's running rampant in the USA and the red states. Hey, Calvin, MJB and the B2B. If the Philippines didn't work out for you, what was your next destination? I was going to Perth, Australia. See, I'd already had gotten my visa. And it's easy to get as an American citizen. It's easy to get a visa to Australia. It's good for 90 days. Uh, yeah, I know her. She's a hater, man, and I don't understand it. Woo too. He said, Calvin, do you know of a YouTuber named Apple Hernandez? She's really cute. Uh, See, here's a problem with her. Somebody gave her some bad information. She's got everything she needs to be a successful YouTube vlogger. She's decided she wants to be a troll. She can't handle a troll's life on YouTube. And see, I don't fight trolls because they invisible. And she wants to review my vlogs. That's fine, you know. But I could help her turn her channel around to the point where uh, she'd be popular. All she has to do is come to me. She don't have to hate on me, but you know, I know why she hates me because I think her kids are by a black man. And I think he did her wrong, so she don't like no kind of black men at all. Tough Cookie said, Calvin, good question. How can I wait? Tough Cookie, let me get you off of here. I made you a moderator. Okay. Okay. See, I forgot I got this new, what's your name it too. He said, Calvin, good question. He says, how can I, let me take this thing off real quick. How can I prove my Philippines 18 when I come there? Most don't have IDs. Well, you're going to take her to get an ID. And right now they've got a new national ID. So by the time you get over here, she should have an ID. And if she doesn't, then you need to throw her back. Something's not right there. Yeah, Jacob Tanjay, she hates herself. Yeah. See, that's the problem, man. And you know, but I could help her, man. And, you know, any of them, really. But, to be honest with you, let's see what he's saying. He says, what's the best area? He said, Calvin, what's the best area to find a Nadine Lustre looking girl with a sweet personality? All over. There is no one Philippines, guys. Listen to me, okay? There's no one Philippines. Everywhere you go, there she is. If you know, if you're looking for a woman or something like that, there's no one Philippines, okay? Right, MJB and the P2B. He says Apple's okay. I don't understand why bloggers have to bring each other down. Yeah, that's something you have to ask them, because I would never do it. Come on in, Angel. I look at the YouTube vlogger community as a fellowship, really. I would never try to drag another vlogger down. I mean, hey, good morning, I'm Buntak. But some people, that's why YouTube calls us creators. Some people, they can't create content, so they ride, you know, so they ride your shirt tails, you know, to create content. That's the only way they know how to do it. Yeah, okay, this is a great answer, he says. This guy says, RLV says, try 1 month for Thailand, Philippines, Malaysia, Cambodia, and then decide. But I tell you what, you better put Philippines last. Because if you put Philippines first, you're not going to leave, man. That's what I tried to do. You better not come to the Philippines first. You're not going to those places, I'm going to tell you, man. Because, you know, they talking about a bird in the hand beats two in the bush. In the Philippines, it's a bird sanctuary. You're going to have a bird sanctuary in your hand. Beats two in the bush. You ain't going to want to go. Yeah, Land, you better go to Philippines last, because if you don't, Colin B said, Calvin, you're the top dog in the field and always speak the truth and lay it down. Man, I thank you, man, for that, man. But really, I don't look at it like that. I'm just a regular guy talking to regular men. Pokey Breast said it's a bird's nest. Now, this is a bird sanctuary. You ever been, I'm going to tell you, man, it beats two in the bush any day. If there was a better place for me than the Philippines, I'd be there. But it's not. Look at the weather out here, man. The sun shines all the time. It's coconuts right across the street. I can walk over there, knock on this man's door and say, hey, can I get a few of them coconuts out of your tree? He'll say, yeah. You know. A nest meaning the hatchlings. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, Charles M915 says, what do you like most about Thailand? Yeah, see, that's what I want to do is get the conversation started, guys. Ricky D said, how much does it cost for you to live in the Philippines each month? Not a whole lot, man, especially during the pandemic. Less than $1,000. My living expenses is way less than $1,000. My rent here is $170. You know, let me show. Let me show you something. If you've never seen this place before, nobody's going to see y'all. I just want to show y'all my place. It's a 2-bedroom, remember? This is a big house. This is a big place. This is a house. This is an apartment. That's 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms. We got the kitchen back here. Here's my kitchen. And then the bathroom's there. The mother's in the bathroom. It's $170, guys. You know, $170. That's it. And my water bill is $6 a month. And now because we run that air condition for the baby just about 24/7, my electric bill is about $100 a month. Then food, you know, it's going to vary, but if we don't eat out, which we very seldom eat out, we may eat once or two times a month, you know, with groceries, and I'm talking about, when I say groceries, I mean washing powder, Listerine, toothpaste, lotion, deodorant, stuff like that. I'm gonna say $350. See, so I'm way under $1,000. No video right now? Wow. Let me see something. Yeah, the Rams and Dodgers fans say, Calvin, is the place you are building bigger or smaller than the house you're in now? It's smaller. Can y'all see me? Give me a thumbs up. Oh, okay. Let me see what's going on. Because it says I got a bad connection. Okay, hold on. No video. Well, see, I'm on. Okay, guys. Well, I'm going to have to. See, I'm not on Wi-Fi today. I'm on. I'm using the regular provider. So I'm going to get on off for it then, guys, because maybe it's got hot or something. I don't know what's going on. But see, I'm not using my Wi-Fi. Let me see. Can y'all see me now? I restarted it. Can y'all see me? Somebody give me a thumbs up if you can see me. Oh, okay. I'm back. All right, yeah. I restarted. I rebooted it. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I rebooted it. No, but the house I'm building is a lot smaller than this, man. I mean, it's a lot smaller. The people who own this place, man, they're super rich. They probably own half this block on both sides. Yeah. And, you know, but, yeah, my place is about 52 square meters, about 569 square feet. Okay, is that, who's saying, well, JH, he's never been here before. He may like Thailand better than the Philippines, and that's not what we're saying. This isn't an argument, guys, because who can say which is better? It's whatever you like. It's your opinion. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying one of my subscribers asked me, said, Calvin, why did you choose the Philippines over Thailand when there was a choice? There is no choice now because I've been here for 12 years, but it was just pure luck, really. But now I'm glad that I chose the Philippines. Looking back, I'm thankful that I chose the Philippines over Thailand for a lot of reasons. Number one, the Philippines is still an untapped tourist haven. You're not going to run over top of tourists here. You're going to run over top of locals, but not tourists. I can still go places in the Philippines and have a whole place to myself. I remember in 2010, and you can look at the figures then in Thailand was a lot of people. We went down to Gland, Sarangani province, okay? And I had the whole Gland beach for one night by myself. There was nobody else there for the 24 hours. I got there about 11 o'clock, all the way to the next morning, which would have made it Saturday. And that's when a lot of Filipinos go to the beach on Saturday and Sunday like that. There was nobody there, man. I doubt if you can go to a place in, not of that quality, white sand beach. I'm talking about a really, really nice place in Thailand, not with 39 million people. To be honest with you. But I can go somewhere like that today. Okay, remember, now my channel's been going since the pandemic, so I can't, every time y'all see me on the beach, that doesn't count because there's nobody can really, we're still locked down really. But I'm saying pre-pandemic, me and my girlfriend, we went to Siquijor Island right before the pandemic hit. It was Valentine's Day weekend. Okay, 2020 now. It's 2020 before the pandemic. We rented a Airbnb right on the beach, man. There was nobody there for that whole stretch of beach. Now there was some Europeans that stayed downstairs because it was like an apartment building, right? They had like 5 or 6 rooms, and you had your separate room, bathroom, and everything like that. But we had the whole beach to ourselves. That's why I like it here. Only 8 million people came to the Philippines in 2019. 39 million to Thailand. And let me remind you, the Philippines has 111 million people, and it's much spread out, a whole lot bigger than Thailand. Thailand has 69 million people. That 8 million, you're going to get swallowed up, man. You're not going to be running over top of people. And the Filipino, he doesn't treat you like a tourist. He just treats you like a regular person. They have so few tourists and they have so little experience dealing with tourists that they just treat you like a friend or somebody else like that. They don't treat you like a tourist. The only place you may get that is Boracay. Everywhere else, man, people don't treat you like that. Edward Lawler said China will run the Philippines one day. No, there's no reason for them to do that. They already have their way with the Philippines. 400,000 Chinese expats live in the Philippines, the number one expat community. I mean, they do whatever they want to do anyway. There's no reason to run the Philippines, They have their way over here anyhow. See? Oh, yeah, absolutely. But see, y'all don't understand. We're not comparing I'm not, because I've never been to Thailand. Yes, from what I've read, the infrastructure is better. medical is better, okay. But if you don't come to a place for that, you know, because once you get outside in major cities, you're basically doing the same. Okay. The infrastructure has improved tremendously in the Philippines from 2009 till now. But see, I can work around stuff like that. I can. I don't mind riding the series bus lineup. I don't mind riding the ferry to get to where I'm going or fast craft. See, I'm glad I moved here because there's 20 million more women. Okay, that's just the bottom line. And I don't want to sound cold or just foolish or anything, but I'm a man. If they, there's 55 million men here too, but I'm not looking for a band. You know, that's right. RLV. Once the Philippines, and they're improving their infrastructure, their airports especially, their ports, their roads. Once it gets up there, man, I'm gonna tell you. But right now, when it's not, you can enjoy the freedom here, man. That you're not running into everybody. You can go to places. Would the Philippines love to have the problem Thailand's got? Yeah, because that's a lot of money. It's a big time tourist industry. But man, I'm gonna tell you right now, for somebody like me who can appreciate 8 million over here versus 39 million over here, I'll take the Philippines, man. I would take the Philippines, the low cost of living. People treat you like a celebrity. I'm talking about, they're as welcoming here as anywhere in the world, not just in Southeast Asia. You're not treated like a tourist. The cost of living, the weather, the beaches. That's right. China ain't invaded nobody, and they're not going to invade nobody. You know, absolutely. He said Chinese are big investors in the Philippines. Yeah. Okay, the offshore gambling here in the Philippines is run by the Chinese. Okay. Uh, but you got to realize the Chinese and the Philippines have a relationship that goes back 20,000 years, man. It's not like the Chinese just all of a sudden start coming over here to the Philippines, man. Come on, guys. Look at your history, man. The Chinese and the Philippines have a history that goes back thousands upon thousands of years. You know. So come on, all the Chinese, they don't have to take over the Philippines. Yeah. In a way, they've taken over the Philippines. They probably own more of America than they do the Philippines. Let's get honest now. Yeah. They own almost $2 trillion of our debt, so I doubt that they own $2 trillion US dollars of the Filipino debt because Uncle Charles says I was treated like a celebrity when I went to Tondo. Everybody smiled, invited me to have a drink. That's right. The Water Tigers says the food is very, very good in Thailand. That's right. Okay, now here's a guy that says, medical is the key. Now we're talking about the medical tourism, the medical infrastructure, but there's just as good hospitals here in the Philippines as anywhere if you got good insurance, if you got money. Man, you go up there to the medical city in Manila, St. Luke Medical Center, Chongwei Hospital in Cebu. These are top of the line hospitals, but you better have good insurance and you better have money. You can get that same stuff here. And that's what it's all about. Well, see, you got to understand, man, the Chinese are owning a lot of America too, Cal. Trending vlogger says, He says, I'm 7 years in South Cebu. I love it here. Only my business are the most infected. Oh, okay. You mean with the Vladimir, trending vlogger Vladimir. What part of South Cebu Island you live in? Malbal, Oslo? Where do because that Cebu Island is a great place, guys. If you never, because Cebu City is part of Cebu Island. Don't forget that, y'all. Okay, don't forget that. Cebu City is part of Cebu Island. Okay, I have a beach resort in Oslo. What's the name of it? Trending vlogger Vladimir. We'd like to shout you out and give you some business, man, because a lot of these guys, they're looking for a nice place to come. Oh.